over at the Kesper Cup.
Yes.
But the first one in the LPL, I actually commentated and only recently learnt that that was his first one because 10 years is a very long time ago. And as it turns out, you sometimes forget. But here we go. Varus going to be taken away as well as the Orianna. They're removed as well. And let's see what these bans are going to look like. Is the Caitlyn also taken away from the Yushi here?
These bans are going to, I think, get pretty bot lane focused in terms of 80 carries that are left. As with less engage, you know, there's no Annie, there's no Ahri, there's no Wukong, there's no Pantheon, there's no Vi, right? Like, there's no Ambessa. Then you end up with 80 carries ruling the day, because if there's less ways to kill the 80 carry, there's a lot more viable late game 80 carries you can play. As one more time, we're going to put that Jace on the bench.
And Nongshim have first pick, so the Jarvan needs to be banned away if they don't want Sponge to play it. Otherwise, he will be picking it first.
That's the best engage that's left, honestly, really, it feels right now in the meta. Cassiopeia, though, for Scout could be a problem as well.
That's a good point. And maybe you just ban neither of them and allow the trade to come on through. Because honestly, getting the Cassio could be very, very valuable here for Zeka. And they do just ban it away instead, not wanting to take that risk. And she has been so strong.
If Nongshim have a different read here, because I think when you consider both how strong Jarvan is and how good Kanavi is at it, it feels like it's a must pick.
Oh, yeah.
And they agree. But Kanavi's like, I like Lee Sin, though. It's pretty good.
Ryze is also just been lock-ins.
Yeah, also left up. And in terms of mid picks that are left, like, you could play something a little bit more utility, or you're probably playing like Mel. As it is going to be the Yunara. Well, Lulu is still available as well, and there's not a lot of great engage here to lock her down.
And Lulu Jarvan, pretty good combination. Lehens is a pretty great Lulu player just in general. Zeka is thinking about just taking away Zeus' debut champion for him, and that is going to be locked in. So the blind Gnar will be picked up here, but they can protect it with a couple of bans if they would like.
This deep in Fearless, a Vayne ban doesn't feel that expensive, and maybe you just make sure that's not going to be a thing, and they do that, which makes a ton of sense. But for Nongshim Red Force here, you're thinking about what the bottom lane could possibly look like. Karma, late in the draft. But like, Karma feels so bad when there's no engage left. You're like, oh, if I'm playing Karma, I really don't have engage. You know, we have no Nautilus. Leona stocks are up. Thresh kind of feels a little bit viable, maybe.
Xayah Rakan for Guma Delight?
Oh my god, that's actually such a good shout from you. But it's played into right now Jarvan, which doesn't care about it that much, and the Lulu lane is going to be a bit of a problem for it. But maybe they just get through the laning phase, and it's these two players' OG picks, it feels, in so many ways. I mean, not maybe necessarily OG for Guma, but a pick that he's so iconically known for.
And it's definitely Delight's signature pick in the Rakan, even back on his bro days.
Maybe just ban the Rakan and call it a day, or you're looking at
Nami ban?
Corki, Nami, yeah.
Thresh! Okay.
I mean, I mentioned Thresh. There's like nothing left engage-wise here.
Well, I mean, yeah, Thresh is such an interesting
Is it just
ban.
Leona? Corki, Leona?
Yeah, they're just going to play Corki, Nami.
Or Corki, Nami.
I think that's probably what it's going to look like.
I just don't feel like there's any setup for Lee Sin kicks besides Rune Prison. And by the way, speaking of CCs, Scout found some.
Yeah. And so now we can play some side lane shenanigans here. Let's see what Kingen is going to be locking in, because he doesn't necessarily need to worry about team fights. Let's see what this is going to look like.
Kingen GP angle.
Oh, I
late game scaling
that.
Threat, global power.
The Deathfire touch GP. Just light them on fire.
He's
Instead,
just going to play
Renekton.
I mean, this is another great way to set up single target, as Nami is tricky here. I feel like in the laning phase, you feel like you need this power. Otherwise, every other support you pick just gets bopped. Like Leona, not a chance. Not going to want to play like even Janna in this lane as much as we like to talk about how that's kind of, maybe it's a range thing we could play down there. And so if you try to set up for the laning phase anything else you lose, you get out of laning phase here okay, but then how do you team fight? Kanavi's going to have to do so much heavy lifting, I think, in this game. And then if they can get ahead enough, Ryze gets 3 items. They have a lot of scaling here because the Twisted Fate isn't going to be able to do anywhere near as much damage. But the Twisted Fate can hold the Corki in position. Even if you Valkyries away, if that gold card's in the air, you've got the follow-up. And like you mentioned, the Lulu works really well with the Jarvan, and the Jarvan is going to be so powerful in early skirmishes and fights. And Kanavi, I don't know if he will, but he might have to respect it. I don't think he will choose to, but he might want to consider it.
And the thing that's so dangerous about this composition is Vi and Nautilus were used in the last game, and so now you pick Yunara, who locks you down, ever? Like, you just stay out of range of the Rise, don't need to worry about the Rune Prison, you kill whatever's in front of you, and Diablo, we know that that's his forte. He is very, very good at just locking down the targets and taking them out of the game. I really like what Nongshim have put together here for this game number 3, but HLE looked fired up. Yeah, Wolf, you mentioned in our group chat between the games, like, has the volume of LoL Park in our ears been increased? And I don't think so. I think the fans are just extremely loud today.
Yeah.
All right, we are also having our players being relatively loud as well, as Diablo and Lehens trying to push Delight and Gumayusi out of the lane. Heal now still there for Lehens. Delight having to use his.
Diablo going to look to charge another Q here. And then they'll probably use that heal for another tempo trade.
Yeah, another Glitter Lance does come on through onto Delight. This might actually get them out of the lane. You were mentioning the Q. There it goes from Diablo. And Delight's taken down to 100 health already. Diablo now fighting against Gumayusi. Barrier is going to be exchanged between the two. But Nongshim really getting the better end of this one.
Yeah, Delight's so low that I think continuing to stay in this lane is going to be very tricky. They're going to have to be very careful. They're going to need some time for those potions to fully tick. I mean, they need every single bit of that HP to come through before they can do anything here. Level 2 will be hit first for Diablo and Lehens.
They will be able to get there. Sponge is also rotating down towards this bottom side very quickly. Zeka in a pretty good position in this lane, as we can see. Gold card locked for Scout, but doesn't really find much with those wild cards. So the mid lane not exactly going the best, but this bottom lane, oh dear. Flashes up and available here for Gumayusi Delight. Let's see whether Sponge can get this one to work out as Delight. My goodness.
Sponge coming over here for the rare red side Prio Krug takeaway.
There we go.
You normally play through blue side if you have the winning lane, but they have it here, and Sponge is going to find his angle. Delight solo.
Yep, Circle goes in. Let's see whether Sponge can actually lock this one down as they look for Guma, and they will pick it up. But Lands is dead, and so is Diablo.
All right, they end up getting 2 in return, and a kill goes over to Gumayusi.
That was an absolute mega mistake from Nongshim.
Big fail. Big fail. Now, Diablo has to buy the consolation call and head back to lane feeling terrible. And now this Corki lane, which was pushed in, is massively ahead. And this is why, well, one of a few reasons, why trying to dive early at this point with low health bars can be a big struggle, as you have to juggle this perfectly. Delight, the easier target, but the prio target is Guma. And so Delight, like basically 0 health, is giving Guma all these additional stats here. And then Flash comes through, but he still hits the turret, or he's still in the turret range, I should say. And so down he goes.
That was just cataclysmically not what they wanted. Kanavi going to move on over, clears out some control vision. As Diablo and Lehens are still going to be relatively strong in this lane, but problem is, a lot of the wind is now completely out of their sails.
And now Kanavi's like, I'm the aggressor.
Yeah.
And you guys don't have a flash on your AD carry.
But they also don't really have a minion wave, or much of one anyway, as it is away from this turret a decent way. And Kanavi just going to have to take the scuttle instead. Not
Well
gonna go
played.
for the dive.
Well played by Diablo, and Lehens there just sacrificing a few shots on the minions there to push Kanavi away, reacting there and taking the fight to him first before the wave could be set up there for a dive. And by that point, he's just so low, it's not viable anymore. The call will eventually equalize this lane, but you've got a Corki who's stacking his tier already, definitely favoring Guma with the longsword stats also in tow. Diablo has barrier here as well for the even trade between the two of them, so it's all about these Q trade patterns versus Gatling gun.
And it is just a longsword picked up for Gumayusi after that kill that he was able to pick up. The cull is the response, but Diablo still looking to play aggressively. These Glitter Lances need to start landing for Lehens. Was able to hit a bunch of them in the earlier stages, but has missed a couple in a row now.
Some of it feels like really great spacing, but some of it is just error on Lehens' part. Scout is Still a little bit down in this lane in terms of the wave, but has the lead because of the passive.
Yep.
And this game is starting to look like it is going to a path where maybe top side is where Nongshim have a few edges, and the bottom side is all Guma Delight for now with the lead they have. See where Kanavi decides to play through, because that has been the determining factor of so many, I mean, frankly, like 90% plus of where Hanwha Life Esports win their game. Kanavi is the one who dictates how the play happens. And right now, it looks like he's a little bit interested in getting a summoner out of Scout, but Scout's got that defensive ward. Even still, he'll need a gold card.
Yeah, he's going to have to play this one well. Kanavi is often not perturbed by very much of anything at all. As Lehens will be able to rotate over, Cannon will be secured by the TF, and Scout will be just fine. Lehens getting on in here, and Scout with this wave in a pretty good spot. Lehens just using his World Atlas to make this one work out.
Sponge is coming over, and Kanavi has pieced the scene. Zeka does have Ghost.
There's the Flash Gold card. He flashes to get out of the way, and the Ghost is going to be used as well. So both summoners for the flash out of Scout, but that does make him susceptible for Kanavi to come and gank.
Absolutely. Same to be true of Zeka, who's now flashless and ghostless in this lane. And Scout has ult. See if he wants to use it to go back to lane. In fact, he's going to wait in lane, let the back finish for Zeka, and then push this wave in. So he'll have a lot more freedom about how he wants to utilize that first Destiny Gate here in this third and pivotal game. I think very few people thought that Nongshim was going to be able to do much in this series today, but the series suddenly feels incredibly tense. Feels like a playoff game. Even though Nongshim are 4-11 and already relegated to Rise Group, if they could get this upset win, it could do wonders for their momentum. They're on such a loss streak right now, and that ward isn't going to do any helping.
Not quite, as they do at least have some protection for what Kanavi is going to be trying to do here. As pings out, they know that he's in the area. Let's see whether they can actually do anything about it, as Lehens has to flash immediately. Kick was available for Kanavi. And the ebb and flow also getting a little bit frustrating here as Lehens sweeps out this ward.
Sponge does not have level 6. He needs this blue buff to secure it, and I think they're going to have to fight with him defensively for it. Zeka's coming over.
Yeah, Gumayushi getting over the wall here as well, as Lehens is in a lot of trouble. Kanavi picks up the kill, and now Scout is just going to be taken down as collateral damage. Nothing Diablo can do about it, and it is now 4-1 in favor of HLE.
They're playing through this bottom side. They're playing to deny that level 6. They go over to the blue buff, and even though Scout is there to protect, Zeka is able to Realm Warp on top, and they end up making the play work. Fortunately for Nongshim, this has really gone by the wayside quite early, and now everybody on Hanwha Life Esports has a lead. And, you know, notably, 2 kills to the Nami, but even still, the amount of value you're going to get from these set of kills is so massive. As Lehens is deleted instantly, and the Scout is kicked away. Nothing they can do here, and Sponge and Diablo just have to leave, and their whole team is in tatters now.
Yeah, and we were going to say that, you know, talking about engage and compositions and how they function in the later stages of the game, if Nongshim just fall way too far behind, none of that conversation really matters, because HLE will be able to walk at them and kill them.
In fact, because their composition has really one main late game damage threat, if they all fall behind, I don't think they can play the game anymore. Like, Diablo's a great player, we all know this, and he's great on hyper carries like Unara specifically, but if his team is just all falling apart, it's just like the Ashe game, right, where you just don't get to play.
Yeah. Well, now we've got a little bit of an attack onto Zeus here. The Ruthless Predator should come through from Kingen. There it is, gold card to follow up, and that is a very dead Gnar. So Scout going to lock that one down. Diablo with the barrier. Gumayushi using his as well, as the bubble is going to miss. Flash out from Delight as Nongshim, showing that they still have some fight in them in this 2v2. But HLE are able to just get themselves out of the way. And Diablo, with his ultimate running, was still a bit scary. But once it runs
so close
out, yeah, Tidal Wave comes on through, and Diablo sidesteps it nicely. But HLE is still on the attack.
The heal's coming up, but it's not ready yet.
Oh, Scout just gets one out, and it is going to be Gumayushi baited in. The circle comes through. Scout wanted Unara to pick up the kill. Diablo not going to be able to get there, so he secures it himself. 2-1-0 now on the TF, as he sacrifices a lot to make that happen.
Does sacrifice a lot to make it happen, but the kill makes it worth it. And they also push Gumayushi off of the map. He's going to push that wave in. So initially here, they're able to set this up to Zeus onto the top side. Scout makes this impactful play here. As in live, we're not done yet.
Oh dear.
Lee Sin down there.
Scout is likely to just die to Kanavi here, and that is exactly what is going to happen. There it is, the Tempest to take him down. The solo for Kanavi, 2-0-1 now on this Lee Sin.
He is really starting to come online here, and of course with Kanavi, you buy the Eclipse, and you try to carry the game early, and guess what? He is.
Oh, yeah.
Lehens and Diablo going to come over here for a late-minute Dragon contest, potentially, with Sponge having Flash and Cataclysm. Kanavi just used his kick. There might be an angle here. For Nongshim, you kind of got to fight to get anything you can in this early game right now. If Diablo could get a kill or two, that could do wonders, but it's so hard, especially with the Rise with Realm Warp lurking. And Scout doesn't have ult, and this is just not a numbers game that they can win, even though they wanted so desperately to set something up, see if HLE stepped too far across the line. Turns out when Kanavi's on an objective, he doesn't overextend.
Yep.
As Diablo here, in this situation, plays this so aggressively, has the barrier, right? And Lehens' heal is coming online soon, but they're able to get Scout down here, which is the real big difference maker in just a moment.
And he just teleports in, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he does. And he's like, what? Twist of Fate's here. And he's like, what the hell?
Yep.
Which is a pretty appropriate response, I would say.
Yeah, because Scout was actually just in the top lane.
Scout, unfortunately, I think he just didn't see the angle here. It's the Sonic Wave into the
Safeguard kick.
Safeguard, thank you. And then the kick. The Sponge.
Oh, Bubble.
Bubble!
To collect him, Tidal Wave, but the Flash gets Sponge out of there. Lehens does go for a bit of a swim, but is otherwise all right. And nice little wallop here as we have a look at the top lane for a bit of respite. As obviously, they're just hitting each other, as top laners tend to do.
Is 30 CS down, but with those 2 kills in his passive, he holds a gold lead, but it doesn't feel very real at this point in time. The significant leads here are on Guma and Kanavi here for Hanwha Life Esports, which is exactly where you want your money to be. Renekton having a lead over the Gnar feels nice with that gank from earlier, but the Gnar is going to be a larger side lane threat. This game state here heavily favors Hanwha Life Esports. As you can see, orange tanks are out.
Yep. And Diablo and Lehens still just trying to get themselves into a good position. Diablo obviously wanting to get to 3 items, ideally. The 2 items is a decent spike for the Inara as well. As Kanavi moving over, Bubble is going to go wide. As Scout with his Rod of Ages in hand does have his Destiny up and available right now.
All Lehens.
Oh, you don't want to be Warden there. And now Diablo might be going down as well. Foster's bomb comes in. Somehow that rocket didn't connect, but the Bubble will. And that's going to set up for the Sonic Wave for the kill. And yeah, that all just went pear-shaped real fast for Nongshim.
Fans shouting out the national team members on this roster. Hanwha Life Esports in a phenomenal position in this early game. Now Gumyushi's going to grab an additional plate. And what's Diablo going to do there? You know, he wants to sidestep the Bubble, but he's got to watch out for the Kanavi on the other side.
It's just not fair.
And Sponge is going to come up here, but Delight is shadowing. They want to kill the orange buff one more time.
Or is he the orange tank wolf? That's the question. As Kingin, he's a ruthless predator. There's a nice tidal wave as Zeus flashes out of the way to avoid Sponge. And now the Realm Warp will be the doom of the Jarvan. Yeah, Sponge ain't getting out of that one. No flash, no chance. At least did have some minions left up and available, but the turret shot will follow him. And down will go the Jarvan. Nongshim kind of falling apart.
Yeah, Kingin was able to escape, but that's the only good news here. And his gold lead is gone as well. And everything is falling to shambles now for Nongshim Red Forest after what was a crazy start to this series and then a very, very tough but playable game too, as Kingin is just going to go right back to his death potentially.
Yeah, there is an attempted move over here from Scout as well, as down goes Kanavi. Lehens almost falls one more time. And that is quest completion here for the TF. Zeus, I don't know whether you want to be moving up. As we have Scout locking that gold card in. He does hop to try and get away, but the Ruthless Predator comes in. And Zeus, I think, will be falling. Another gold card cycled through. And now Gumyushi is looking to try and kill Sponge. This turret does not really feel like safety. As the Cataclysm comes on forward, flash out from Delight will keep him alive. And first turret blood should go over to HLE.
It does. And Zeka was not there on the top side. I thought he was heading up. One of the big difference makers is he just did not have his run more from the previous play. And what looked like a trap set up for Hanwha Life Esports kind of backfires there as Scout is able to come over and set up his gold card. The global ult advantage coming up clutch, but it feels like it's too little too late with Hanwha Life Esports having now double the kills of Nongshim at this point in this game. Rod of Age is here a little bit faster for Scout, but that isn't even necessarily always an advantage. As you can see, these gold leads here don't feel real. It's a Renekton into an R and a TF that is just not going to have a third item actualizer spike.
Yeah. He is going to have a rapid-fire cannon at some point after the Lich Bane. Is now Diablo going in, flashes over the tidal wave, looking for the kill, and he'll pick it up! Oh my god, this guy's insane. He gets kicked in the face, though, and Kanavi will be able to shut that one down pretty quickly. Good polymorph there from Lehens to try and even out the scoreline. But a 1-for-1, if you're losing, feels all right.
We all remember game one. Started a little bit earlier for the comeback, but maybe we could see something like that here again. As Zayas is going to push Scout away. Lehens and Sponge are coming down as Herald has been started here for HLE, trying to keep them occupied here while they look for the collapse onto this soon-to-be mini Gnar. But Lehens is alone until Sponge gets here.
Yeah, does miss that one as he finds a polymorph onto Zayas. Sponge just trying to catch him in an attempted hop angle, and Zayas is just making them look silly at this point. Lehens, that hyper proc is, oh my goodness, Gatling gun is enough to take down the Lulu. And Lehens is just having one of those games by the looks of things.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Lehens, Zayas just broke his kneecaps and...
Oh dear, Zeka is now looking to try and escape. Diablo loses interest in the whole situation. Sponge is dead. Some reason.
Anticlimactic end of the series.
Wait.
Starting to feel like, but Diablo, let's see if he can outplay this. I don't think so.
No, not at all.
And now Kingen may also just be handbag territory on this Renekton. The only arguably sort of real gold lead is Scouts now, but it's, you have to make an argument for it. It says it right there in game that it's real, but I don't trust it.
Well, Kingen is looking for Zayas. Is in between a couple of turrets. Kanavi comes on over. The tidal wave is in from Delight as well. Somehow that play worked out. Decent wild growth does come in though. And now Sponge gets the knock up onto Kanavi. He's going to go down. Cataclysm onto Gumayushi as HLE may have overextended this time around. And Scout will be able to lock that one down. There is the Glitterlance holding Delight in position as the flash gold card onto the Gnar will possibly help Nongshim grab this kill unless... Okay, there it is. Wildcards is going to connect. Rune Prison comes in as Zeka not able to get the next Q in on top of Scout as somehow Scout is living. The Merc Wolves getting involved. And Nongshim, this is looking precarious to say the least. Delight going to get slurkled to death. And Zeka is going to get closed in on by Diablo and he locks it down. That was almost an ace, but Kanavi just respawned.
Gumayushi's face says it all. They just lost a majority of their gold lead, and they did it trying to play up between turrets there and towards the inner. And Herald was sitting in the inventory of Kanavi the whole time. So this from Diablo, absolutely insane. He's just like, can you cover me? And then calls out instantly.
At least in no kick. Yeah,
no kick, sorry. It was no kick.
Yep.
And Zayas here goes between these two turrets, and this is wholly unnecessary, by the way, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Guma is diving forward. They're styling on him. They're feeling the crowd energy because the crowd is roaring, but the crowd is getting a little bit more quiet after this one. As Guma doesn't have Valk, is caught in the Cataclysm. And we can't do the whole replay here because we're going to have a dragon fight, so we got to jump down there. But they are just going to chase deep, and they're going to get their mark. Flash for the gold card, and it looks like maybe Zayas could outplay, but ultimately is caught here as he's trying to get the blast cone and offer some damage back.
Oh, the polymorph from Lehens.
Polymorph comes through to deny Zeka's damage. And then Diablo eventually shows up to get the damage they need. The dragon is secured, it seems like, here.
Yep, pretty sure that one went down. And Rift Herald is going to be thrown down in live as well. Let's have a look at how HLE are going to utilize this. Should just be a charge onto this inner turret.
25 kills at 18 minutes, one of those games.
Oh my goodness, once again, this is just so bloody. As, okay, Destiny, we were not fighting for about 2.5 seconds. We need to start fighting again. As the tidal wave comes in, the kickback onto Kingen. His health bar's just massive still, though, as Zayas is looking to move on down. Cole the Meek doing a whole bunch of work here, as HLE will get themselves out of the way of the angry crocodile, but also Nongshim not finding too much.
That was very scary for HLE. If they had gotten wiped again, that would have just been their lead completely gone.
Yeah.
They get away this time.
And it's a 3,000 gold lead. That is not gigantic when you're dealing with a Yunara on the opposing side, and it's Nongshim that have all of the reliable engage.
Exactly. They have the Lulu as well, which is shutting down a lot of this damage too with Polymorphs. I mean, sure, Lehens has died 4 times this game, but he has absolutely done a lot of work to get HLE, or to get Nongshim back into this and to put HLE down for some of their greedy plays here. Seraphs has completed here now for Zeka. So he's going to be a lot safer, and he's starting to really become a serious damage threat in this game. I look at like how some of these last few fights have happened, and I think some more measured play here from HLE would probably keep them at like a 6K gold lead right now. But, you know, we're looking at half of that because of some of their aggression and mistakes. But Baron is spawning. They still have control over the map. They still have a Rise with Realm Warp who could join at any moment. And Hanwha Life Esports are still holding on to control.
Yeah, they also get their minions to take down an inner turret in the mid lane that the Rift Herald did most of the work on. And so that is also a little bit more money over to that way as well. Zeus with a split towards this bottom side of the map. And Zeka now going to go back home once again. We'll see how close to his actualizer he's going to be, or whether he does stop off for an arm guard, but instead just going to refuel some wards.
He just bought that Seraph, so it's going to take a little bit longer for him. He finds himself very far behind, but it's not because he's not farming. It's because Scout has 6 kills.
Yeah, and in fact, Scout's the one that's not farming.
You can see Guma has 16,000 damage this game. He has done a lot of work. He's still 1,000 gold ahead. But, you know, he's sitting on half an item, the advantage over the Yunara, for a 3rd item collector to come through here pretty soon. Let's see what Zeka can get done here as they're just threatening Baron takes while pushing these advantages through the jungle, denying farm from Nongshim, just not letting them get the money they so desperately need, especially onto Diablo right now.
Yeah, Kanavi is like, he only has one direction, but this is also how HLE need to play this composition, right?
Exactly.
Because they need to play around positional advantage rather than starting a fight, going for dives, and getting all of that setup CC, because they don't have a whole lot of it.
There is a potential flank angle for Scout with either his ultimate or that teleport in the Baron pit if they overextend. That's one place that HLE does not have vision right now.
Oh, Kanavi possibly turned on here as there's the Wild Growth to get the knock-up onto the Lee Sin. He's trying to get himself out of there, but the Tidal Wave to save him, and he turns it around, picks up the kill onto the Renekton, and the Realm Warp is going to be interrupted crucially here, but lands on the wrong side of that one, and he will be taken out.
That should be a Baron, I think, at this point, even though it's no 3rd item Rise, not even a Rod completed, and Guma's sitting only on the 2-item spike. They have enough damage. There's no threats here without Lehens and King in, and that's just a free win here for Hanwha Life Esports. They never let go of that top side control. They had so much deep vision, and even though it was a proactive angle there from Scout, Kanavi outplays it here. He's clearing this war. It's almost like he wants them to chase, right? He's got Safeguard, Dominoes set up here for him to return to. Then he gets out and kicks back in with the Sonic Wave.
Man, absolutely insane.
And then the Realm Warp is interrupted, but Lehens is cut off here on the left side of the fight. And now Baron in tow. Guma on Serpent's Fang, actually, which is what he's putting together 3rd there.
I like that one a lot.
I think when you're this far ahead, any of these lethality items, especially when they're this cost efficient, are so valuable at just making sure you can keep that lead. And with Mountain Soul on the cards, it's a long-term investment as well. Potentially, if Nongshim can get that soul.
Yep. Not to mention the Whimsy out of Lehens being cut down by the Serpent's Fang at the same time means that Gumayushi's damage is going to stick a whole lot better. As Nongshim, I mean, this composition is still pretty powerful, pretty robust, right? Like, it's a comp that we've seen work many, many times before. The Jarvan has been such a coveted pick here in the LCK.
The 3rd item, Rapid Fire Cannon, makes the way that Nongshim has been playing this kind of guerrilla warfare so much more powerful here for Scout. He has it ready. His Destiny Gate is back online. Maybe he can find some sort of flank angle here, but they're just so well grouped. Here comes Sponge.
Looking for the engage, but Sponge is just going to get taken down. Into the Cataclysm goes the Crocodile, though he cuts down. The Navi's Gumayushi is just tidied up. And now Diablo with that Wild Growth able to keep himself alive. Zeus trying to do what he can as there's the hop to get the kill. What is he, Mario? What the heck was that? As now Kingen slicing and dicing around the battlefield, looking to try and take down Kanavi as the Realm Warp. Not going to quite work out here. As Kingen, can he take down Kanavi? The answer is no, as the resonating strike just a little bit too much. But then you take a couple of Barons off the Rift.
The Rod completion for Ceremony here for Zeka as he hits level 16, almost showcasing he didn't even need that. to win the fight. So much damage is done in the front-loaded push here from Guma, but he puts himself in harm's way, and that's when Kingen and Scout collapse and strike. Delight pushed down early here, and now the bottom duo is dead. Diablo gets the wild growth to survive, but he critically cannot really join the bottom side of the fight where they need him. And Zeus just blows him up here with the hop, and now Kingen is so close to this kill, but cannot quite get it. You can see the teleport out from Scout. He just abandons his fellow solo laner here because he knows this is just not one.
It could have possibly been a gold card into kill Kanavi angle.
But then he dies to Zeka in the interim, right? And I think it's the better call to just leave there. These small fight wins for Nongshim, I mean, they're not wins, they're losses, but the small deficit losses for Nongshim are the best they're going to get. Now Diablo has 3 kills. He's getting closer to a 3rd item. I don't see a world where they come back and win this, but you know, trying to cut your losses as best as possible and try to get to a better spot here is all they can really hope for. As the arm guard is bought for Scout, he has some additional safety there.
Oh god, Sponge taking so much damage. The tidal wave to follow him out of this one as he does buffer the flag and drag quite nicely. But Kanavi has an endless hunger, Wolf. And I know he does, but he also has the item.
I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Building towards his GA now for item number 4. Because he's 4,000 gold ahead.
Endless hunger on Lee Sin, with the way they're playing this comp, sounds actually I kind of want to try that.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
They need to buy time for Diablo. They need that 3rd item, and they need to just slow this game down, but they're going to find themselves down a mid inhibitor if they don't look for an engage here, and they're just not going to get it. You can see Zeka splitting off to try to threaten a 2nd inhibitor at the same time. This, though, does limit some of their wave clear, and they haven't gotten that 1st inhibitor yet. Nongshim just need time. Let's see if Diablo's actually buying right now. He's heading back to the fountain, does have that scope online.
Yeah, but it's not armor penetration or anything like that. It's not an Infinity Edge just yet. Still, it is 3 items. So he will be doing a little bit more here. Nongshim are just going to catch this wave and get themselves out of here. I just feel like HLE have both broken their backs, though, at this stage. 6.5k is a really big lead, but you can see Nongshim still looking for an angle as no one's really out of position. I think that's what Scout was looking for, as now the Realm Warp as the answer. Zeka is alone. The flash in from King and realizing he just needs to cut his losses. The flanking Diablo, I'm not entirely sure about that one, but maybe it's going to work as he flashes out of the way from Zeus. But Zeus just crushes him. And HLE, they're going to follow suit. Lehen's trying to run quickly away from this one. The kick flash onto Scout will be the end of him. He breaks his arm guard first, and then HLE will break him himself. The Nexus turrets are going to do the same thing. And HLE, yeah, they dropped the ball in game number 1, but man, the next couple were definitely decisive, and they were bloody, as that last Nexus will go down.
Definitely, I think a lot of good things we could see from Nongshim.
Yeah, there's some positives to take away from it, and this was always going to be the most difficult match of the round robin, right? So maybe focusing on being able to pick up some wins against your Rise Group brethren as this season goes on, and we only have a little bit to go. Some opportunities to find some success before we do take that break. Obviously, probably not going to be going to Road to MSI or to MSI itself. And so they will have some time to focus on getting themselves back into a position where a win from the Rise Group can come out and move them closer to a possibility of getting towards Worlds.
They were so good at the very beginning of the season, so maybe with a small break, they can start round 3 fresh. Obviously, we're not there yet, but...
Yeah, giving Diablo some time to mesh with the team as well, because he had to come in immediately and perform, right?
And then also,
in between the round robins,
the support was changing to Pleta. There were a lot of things going on. Scout and Kingen were having a rough time when he joined the roster. Looks like they're starting to look a lot better in this game in particular. They looked great.
Yep, Kumiushi also doing a massive amount of damage in this game. As
HLE, a lot of boom boom.
Yeah, big turnaround. Kanavi as well, that damage number looking pretty impressive for a Lee Sin performance, and he will pick up player of the match. He was just ludicrous today on the Vi and on the Lee Sin, especially the Endless Hunger Lee Sin tech moving in and looking pretty powerful. His Dusk